Hello, good morning. This is like study session and more of a monthly analysis on gold. Supposed to wait for the month end, but let me just put it out there now. I'll send it to you guys. So this is current price action for gold that I want to analyze. No, let me just start. I want to show you guys something. Let me start from here. We get how gold has been moving. As you can see, this was a lot. Daily, this is a break of structure. This is more like the low that needed to be taken out. That price if you go to 4 hours, you see that price swept liquidity here. So this was another break. Because then price that's why price bought from here the first time and went up. But when it comes to daily time frame, this is the low that needed to be taken out. Then other block here. So why didn't price buy from here or at the closest other block? If you look at something, this trend line liquidity, which means price will most likely take it out or come to the origin. So where is the origin? So we want to map out this zone one, then here for price to take to react from. And what will happen? Price came to the origin of the trend line. See the origin, the other block, the last other block, the first other block that formed the trend line. Okay, it continues like this. This is trend line liquidity. The price has been respected. Look at it, broke it, came back, retested the trend line and bought. So it was respecting a trend line here. So that's why it came to the origin since it wanted to take out the liquidity. So what can we see for here also? This is a break of structure on daily. If we go to 4 hours, this is probably a change of character here. Okay, I even this is a change of character. Then price came to the other block that created it. So let's go back to daily. So we've seen the price action that is expecting here on daily is just change your price coming back to the origin other block and sold. So most likely, season price broke his structure here, and there's no form of liquidity on daily. Where are we expecting price to react from? The internal structure, the first MSS, and this is it. So until price come here, I won't look for sale because it means that structure is bullish. So even though I see a count, in fact, I've seen multiple counter trend, but I don't take it. I don't take it, even though it's the best counter trend, because I'm not looking to have stop loss that I can actually avoid. Because sometimes those zones don't hold. In as much as you're using confirmation, those zones don't hold. I don't break even, so I don't need to hit my stop loss anyhow. So since we know this, that okay, we've gotten to it, origin other block, so price should start buying. So we're looking for buys. Okay. The first time this was where I was waiting for a buy here. Why was I waiting for buy here? MSS. I use this slow as liquidity. I was waiting for buy or something happened. I saw how price was coming down. I saw how price was coming down like this. So I knew that if there was an MSS, price would just take out this side, then maybe come back here and buy. Get. So because of that, this one will come back here. This will also come back here. I don't catch this first trade. Okay, I was actually waiting for it here. But since I'm back testing now, I've seen my mistake. Yeah. I don't catch this first trade. So what happened here? Okay. This is like an MSS here. MSS here. Liquidity price came back to the origin. I'm reading this particular structure of MSS. This is the liquidity. The price needs to come back here. So this is where we are waiting to buy from. Okay. So if you had seen this trade, this is it. When price came into the origin, it did the change of character or market structure shift. You want just to take entry from here and target the nearest drawn liquidity. Because this is like an A plus sector because it came to the other block before it did that. So this is your TP. Okay. But this is not what I want to show you guys today. So after this first range, I noticed the way market was moving. When I was studying for the end of the day, I noticed what market was doing. I noticed the type of structure market was from after the major break when the break of structure happened, market taking out that high. I noticed something. Thank you. Now what did I notice? I noticed the market was using internal structure to move. The first MSS, be it substructure inside the substructure. I don't know if you guys get. In this case, this was it. Look at what happened here. After price broke, change of character went up. It did a low, like this was internal, like countered, like the thing says selling downtrend. Then broke up, gave a liquidity, then continued. But what the price, it came back, swept it, then buy. You get the same thing that it did here. The same thing. Look at it again. MSS again. Liquidity went up, came back, bought from here. This other one was, I think, 30 minutes. I'm coming. Let's go up to 30 minutes. In this case, this was it. The first MSS internal structure. In this case, there was no liquidity. There's no liquidity. This you won't really take this as liquidity. So what did the price do? It came back, swept this low. Look at it. And bought. Immediately bought. This was a weak low that price took out. Then why didn't you use this one here? Let's go down to 15 minutes. If you still use this one here, this was the break. If you look at the internal structure, you find out that this zone, this zone didn't have liquidity. And you want to make sure that there's liquidity. So what will you do? You look at the week low. In this case, week low has a liquidity here. This is an order block that if price takes out, it will definitely buy. Since we know that, okay, that is what market is doing. You just come to the structure, look for the internal, the last or the discount market structure shift, then start buying from there. So we're expecting price to buy below here, below that other block. So if price it might just sweep here and start buying. You get. And what happened here? The same thing. Price just swept it, took out the liquidity, then started buying. The same thing that happened there also happened here. So what are we also expecting? Let's go up to 30 minutes. The first MSS zone. Now we've this is it. Let's go up down to 15 minutes. You've ascertained that okay, what price is doing is just it's actually respecting this particular trend. It's not really focusing on this one again. Now it's focusing on this one and that is what is easy to climb up. I think this forming trend line. But it doesn't really matter. Your own is just to know what price is doing. Instead of focusing on just this trend, forgot about here. Instead forgot focusing on this particular trend. So now you don't want to start backing break or structure from here. You want to just use this zone, this particular leg that it's forming. You want to use it. That was why price didn't take here as liquidity and come back to buy from here. Instead, what happened? It expected this zone. This is the break of structure here. This ideally this low was supposed to be liquidity. Then buys from here. But if you notice all this price was not expecting this break of structure. It was expecting the internal market structure shift zone, the discount one that has liquidity. If market structure doesn't have liquidity, it looks at the week low before the actual market structure inside that range. You get in this case, okay, you can even use why I didn't use this one was because it created one low. Okay, created so this was it here, sef. This was it. This was the ID place we're supposed to map. Then this is the liquidity. Now, where are we expecting price to sell from? You go to the previous range. This is the last place price took out two zones here. And this is the liquidity. So most likely if price comes to this zone, I'm setting it to sell. So any trade they are taking now, if price comes to this zone, it will sell and come buy from here because the major trend is buys. I told you I won't take the counter trend. I just know where it will sell from. Or rather, I want to know where to sell from heavily. Okay, as you can see, we are in. If you know how I trade, I don't really enter at market price. I don't really enter this thing, trade hastily. I love to use confirmation. In this case, what do we have here? Price came back to the origin, broke it, liquidity. So now I can confidently take a trade from here. If you go down to 5 minutes, if you go down to 5 minutes, I think you're supposed to see, okay. If you go down to 5 minutes and entry here, let me draw it for, let me map it out. I don't want this video to be long. Even this, I don't want it to be up to 20 minutes. So in this case, what do we have here? This is the MSS, and this is the other block that caused it. Let's go up to 10 minutes. So this is the other block that caused it. So this is your first entry. This breaker is not valid for me. So this is the other one because it broke structure, has liquidity protecting it. If you go down to 5 minutes, most likely there's another block here. I just said it. So I don't no need to start giving multiple entry. I don't want the video to be long. So this is all I have here. Let's see. Let's see what happened. What the price do. Tapped into it, but TP hits. So you can still target here. Ideally, you're supposed to target the liquidity of this zone, which is here. The liquidity. Because the net DOL is the one place you know that price must get to before selling. So ideally these are our TP should be at. Because we know that okay, the leg is bullish. We are back, we are in an uptrend. So Ideally, this is supposed to mark again, break or structure. You'll be looking for liquidity, but what did I just say? Look for the first zone that MSS happen. That is what price respects. In this case, price already swept here, but from this origin here. So what do we want to see? This is it, but it has been mitigated. This other block for me it has been mitigated, so I'll go up to this side. Then use it as my liquidity. Then where will I buy from? Definitely here. Price might likely come here because after this MSS here, price never visited here, so price might come here. So I'm definitely I'll still use confirmation. But this is a valid order block for me. This one is not really valid for me. But since I don't use, I don't enter aggressively. I'm waiting for price here. There are some streets I enter aggressively, but something like this I don't. I might feel like entering, sha, but I won't. This is what I'm interested in selling. Self. I'm not interested in buying. From, what do we have? Hmm, that was where price got to. Okay, okay. Why the price buy from there? So never created any low. Oh, this was still a valid zone for me because this particular price action here, price never took it out. So this was where I would have been waiting for it. But you don't want to, you don't tell the market what to do. So since price came here, the major thing is that we are still bullish. So we are looking for a way to take out this high. What did I do? What I did was my job now is just to look for. This is the first MSS. I want to. This is one zone that I want to map out. Wait up to 10 minutes, and also two zones that I'm interested in buying from. One, two. Okay, I want price to come back to this zone if I buy. I think this one, this particular, I think this was last week. I did not catch anything here, or last week's. I didn't catch anything in this range. Okay, I caught one trade. I'll show you guys the trade I caught. So one zone that can push price back to this zone for me is like the extreme zone. I'm going to go to 30 minutes. So I was waiting for price to maybe come here, then come back down here. But he didn't do that. Instead, what he did was to like take out the high. He swept this high. So when he swept the high, I knew that there was two zones that I was going to buy from. MSS zone internal structure that has double reconstruction zone that has liquidity. In this case, for me, I take swing zones to be double reconstruction zones. So this one, this two, this three, and this is the last one here. So in this case, this one had liquidity, so I was waiting for price here. Uh, I was waiting for price here. Price swap liquidity. I caught this first one on 2 minute time frame. I caught one trade here on 2 minute three that gave me 3R. Let me show you guys. I caught one trade here. I caught one trade here. Okay, this is it. Okay, I think it was on 2 minutes. I was waiting for the MSS first. This is what I wanted. I don't have time again. So this was the first trade. The one I said I caught. CP. Then when price came to that side. In this case, since this zone wasn't mitigated, price, and if you notice, that is where price is reacting from now. So as it stands now, I'm looking for buys.